everyone, I'm Linda Loveland. We're here in Chowan County for another Ask a Farmer segment. I have Carey Parrish with me. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
He's a pilot, and we're going to talk to him about aerial spraying, because aerial application, very important when it comes to agriculture and farms. And timber, I'm learning, I didn't realize timber was sprayed as well.
Yes, ma'am.
But your question was, so what are the advantages of aerial application?
Yeah, well, there's many advantages. One being timeliness. A lot of times when farmers need something applied, it's all about timing. You got a narrow window to get it done in, and with the weather patterns we've had the last several years, that window of opportunity is narrower and narrower. So timeliness is one main important factor. We can get so much more done in a day with an aircraft than a ground rig can. But also, not only that, you got advantages such as when the ground rig drives through the crops, they tear up crops and do damage. Oftentimes you get the disease pressure or insect pressure, and of course it's wet and you can't get through the fields without rutting up, which affects drainage, which also incurs damaging more crop than even just driving over. So we hope we don't rut fields up. If so, we've had a bad day.
No kidding, right? Don't get close to that.
We will not replace ground applications, but it's always a benefit and a help. And sometimes it's a more economical than people really think about. I know, we farm also, and we got a ground rig, and of course we want to use it as much as possible. And there's a lot of times that we got to use it, but in some situations that, if you really looked at the numbers, even though I own it, farmer owns a ground rig, it's still more economical to get an airplane to spray it, or to apply it. So. Well,
now, so you use it for, fertilization, sometimes as herbicide as well, and insecticide. So are those the three main things that you will?
Well, pretty much any pesticide that, of course, is, if it's labeled by air, that's, we can apply it. Some are not, but insecticide, herbicide, fungicide, nematicide. I mean, there's all different,
all kinds of sides.
All kinds of stuff that that we apply, and then of course fertilizer, and then of course cover crop. So there's multi uses that we can do, and we do it all with the same airplane. So we got different attachments to put on it, but it's all done with the same airplanes.
So when you see applications on a farm, you see it from the rig, land-based, and it looks very precise, even with all the technology they have with GPS, it's very precise. So, but when you see an airplane applying this stuff, you think, oh, that can go anywhere. So what kind of precautions do you take? How specific is it? What do you guys do?
We take a lot of precaution into that too, probably more so than a lot of ground rigs do. But every year, or we try to do it every year, we do pattern tests. We fly through a string that dye the water and fly through pattern tests so we can see what our pattern's doing, make sure we got a good pattern to apply evenly, and we can see what our drift is doing, so we know. And there's been a lot of research and studying done on airplanes and patterns and through the tests and through a lot of research. And
yeah, the pattern testing. I didn't even know there was such a thing as pattern testing.
Yeah, we do pattern testing, and then also we do a PASS program, which is sponsored by the NAAA, and that's, I believe it's Progressive Aerial Safety Seminars. We try to go through those every year, each pilot, and they give us, analyze accidents that's happened, and even from drift or accidents, we run it, hitting power lines or.
Yeah. But and what about wind too? I mean, obviously there's a lot people don't realize. A lot plays in if it has to be.
That's right. Yes, ma'am. We of course we look at the wind. Wind is actually a good thing to a certain degree. The wind's blowing, you know where it's going. If it's not blowing, you don't know where it's going. So, believe it or not, we actually want a little bit of wind blowing when we apply most pesticides.
As an aerial application pilot, you all have to be so skilled, because I've seen some of the fields that, even growing up, that they had to go in with, fields that were buttoned up to a house and a tree line, and so you have to get in and then immediately get out. And I mean, you guys are pretty skilled. It's not like anybody can walk in and do this.
Yes, ma'am. When you first start doing it, things are moving fast, but believe it or not, they slow down after a while. But yeah, I mean, it does take a lot of precision, timing. You need to be able to see good to see these power lines and hidden objects. it all goes back into, surveying the field to seeing what we have to deal with from high up before we just dive in and start spraying.
Yeah. And run through everything that you spray. I know you said timber, so run through the timber and all the crops that you spray.
Yeah, just all your traditional row crops, cotton, soybeans, peanuts. We spray produce, pumpkins, sweet corn, of course timber. We were just talking about timber. Numerous things, pasture. There's just numerous things that we spray.
Keeps you busy.
Yeah, yes ma'am. Yeah, we try to.
And you're a farmer as well. Tell us what you do.
Yeah, we do. Me and my dad, we grew up on the farm. We're 6th generation. My granddad, he's still with us and still loves to get out and drive a tractor. He's 93, be 94 this year. And if you give him a tractor and a disc, he's a happy man. He loves to get out there. Like I say, me and my dad, we grow traditional row crops, cotton, corn, wheat, soybeans, and peanuts, Virginia-style peanuts. And we also got some cattle. We got about 80 head of cattle, just cow-calf operation. So.
How long have you been flying?
I started flying right out of high school, which has been longer ago than you won't talk about. No, it's been, I guess it was 2000, so almost 20 years now. But I started flying. My dad helped me. He said he helped my sisters. I got 4 older sisters. He helped them in college, and I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to stay on the farm, and I always wanted to fly since I was little. I was raised right actually at the end of the runway here.
Oh, wow.
And looking at the airplanes fly over when we were chopping cotton or scouting cotton, something like that. I always wanted to fly. So out of high school, my dad, he told me that he helped my sisters get through college or help them with college, so he'd help me get my pilot's license. So he did, and got into that and got my pilot's license, and I guess in the early 2000s, and I got into aerial application. I guess it's been 6 years ago now. Then I bought a guy out that was here locally, and then kind of growed from there. So it's kind of how I got started. I love farming and I love flying, so you put it together, you can't get much better. So.
You got the best of both worlds.
I do, that's right, that's right. You get to do what you love 2 ways. So,
that's fantastic.
But I love watching crops grow and watching how, different farmers do things different. And, I actually learn what other people do on their farm by being involved through aerial application for them, and, bring it home sometimes to mine and vice versa. Sometimes I can help,
nice.
On the other side of that. So.
Very nice. Well, Carey, thanks so much for your time. We learned a lot.
Thank you. Appreciate it.